But when we start to work with emotions, there are no words. And so when we're reprogramming and being conscious about emotions, we have to be able to do that. We enter what we call the limbic brain, and the limbic brain is the feeling brain. And it's that feeling brain, and we know a lot about this in terms of neuroscience, okay? But that feeling brain is where we get connected, all right, to just everything that is going on at a level that is happening faster than the thinking process. The first level of that is emotions, okay? And so we feel rather than think. Let me give you an example of that. We look out here and we happen to have a beautiful environment here and we go, ah, wow, what a beautiful space, what a beautiful view. But it's the that's the experience. And then the mind jumps in and says, what a beautiful view. And then, because thoughts come in trains, it's, oh, well, it's not as beautiful a view as the Himalaya mountains, and gee, it'd be a lot more beautiful if they cut down that tree, and we start to do this whole thing inside our heads about experiencing this at a thinking level rather than at a feeling level. And what we want to do is create this space in our lives so that we begin to also experience our lives at the feeling level. And that then gives us access to the non-thought world, or the thought world that is not controlled by our personality. The creative process is underneath this, right? Imagination is underneath this. And intuition, insight, and then all of those things that we need to create wise leadership, wisdom. That's where it all resides, is in the limbic brain, the feeling brain. You know, and again, this is neuroscience. We know that it takes 10 to 100 times the neural capacity of the brain to do intuition than it does to do rational logical thinking. So that we know that intuition is a higher brain function. Now, at a higher, if you look at that, it's because we access the brain at so many different levels, okay, that that we can't possibly think fast enough. It's 100 tangential lines all coming together, going through, and by the way, rational logical thought is limited by memory. Intuition is not. It goes into the experiences that you've had in the totality of your life and then comes out as an insight. And when you have an insight, there is always an aha. There is a feeling connection with that insight, all right? It happens at the feeling level. So a part of the process that we're going through is teaching people how to access their imagination, their creativity, and their intuition at different levels so that you can actually do it. Now, most people already access that at some level. If you're a great salesman and you go in and you've got a client that you're selling, you probably have undivided attention and you are tuned in emotionally, and you know that when you start selling it this way, if it's not working, then you kind of come this way and then you do this automatically, but you become sensitive to the nuances of communication. The problem is, for most people, that's context oriented. And so you walk out of the room and then you're out of the room and suddenly you're in a place to where you don't have those skills anymore. You don't use them with your boss. You don't use them with your wife. You don't use those skills with your children because you don't even know that you've developed them. It's a part of the sales process. And as you practice being a salesman, and you've done this so many times, then what happens is you develop an ability to be able to give that undivided attention that allows you to access those intuitive levels, that limbic mind system. Now, again, all of us have that place. A pianist that's a great concert pianist is not there. If there were any thoughts that got in the way, there would not be very good piano playing. That's what we do when we're learning to play piano, is we have to think about it. Same with any sport. If you're a sportsman, you get into a zone, you get to a place to where tennis is being played, but there's no tennis player there. If there was, you wouldn't be very good. The same thing is true in all of kind of the ways that we live our lives. And what we want to do is to practice to where we become spontaneous in each moment. We understand and we feel in each moment. We are absolutely present and we give undivided attention to that moment, not our thoughts about that moment. We're not judging. We're not in this place, oh, this is good, this is bad. Oh, no, I shouldn't do this. Oh, should do that. I like him, I don't like him. All of that stuff is just stuff. We need to be in the present moment, and if we are, we're not judging our environment, we're not caught in our emotional patterns, right? That's when we are optimum wise leaders. That's when it comes together and it works and it's magic. And that's what we're excited about. That's what this is all about. How do we put this together so that it actually makes a difference in your life?